Let's talk about catching the opening. Let's talk about what's the best way to gain somebody's attention. We all know today, we get voicemails on our phone, we start to listen to it, and what do we hit? Delete. Hit number 7 to terminate the call. Hit star D to delete the call. Or in the internet, it's so easy to delete, and that becomes our biggest concern when we're doing lead generation. How do we know that we've caught somebody's attention in the world of emails and voicemails that are being left in the media that's available today? I'm going to share with you some good points to think about when you're leaving voicemails. Number 1, catching the opening. Think about introducing yourself, your role, and your location. For example, good morning, Mrs. Big. This is Chad Fox from J&J Marketing and Entertainment. I'm located over here on Carter Drive, just a mile from the Seaview Banquet Center. You've kind of given a location and you've given an introduction. You simply aren't opening up with, "Hi, I'm J&J Marketing and I have a DJ company and I'd like to talk to you about my DJ services." What's the tendency? Star delete. Okay? No more how are yous. If someone does answer the phone, thank them for taking your call. Ask them if it's the best time to share some best practices about planning their event. Don't make it a solicitation call. Spark a level of interest. So if they do answer your phone call and they do take it, number 1, remember 2 things. Thank them for taking the call. Ask them if it's the opportune time to speak. And more importantly, give a general spark of interest. Is this a good opportunity to talk about the planning of your event or your wedding? I've got some ideas that I'd like to share with you when I read your lead on Eventective. You've created a connection there that's going to spark a conversation. Okay? Voicemails. If the person doesn't pick up the phone, what are some good key things to think about? We all know this. We've picked up the phone at our office and the voicemail goes on and on and on. And we say to ourselves, let's get to the point. Well, let me share some good pointing tips that are used by some of the best marketers in the country. Number 1, be brief, 20 seconds or less. In some cases, people have trained themselves by actually putting stopwatches in front of them. Be interesting. Say something unique. If you're going to ramble on about their business, all right, it's going to disinterest somebody who's looking at it. Be gone. What we mean by that is say your name, the company, and phone number at the end of the message. People tend to leave it at the front of the message, and if somebody is not interested in your service, they're going to delete it before they even hear the value out of your message. 2 things importantly too. Speak slowly. Many people ramble off a phone number and the people don't have time to grab a piece of paper or write it down. And most communications never get the circle completed because they either have an inaccurate phone number, because they couldn't hear it clearly, or somebody spoke too fast. More importantly, repeat your phone number a second time. It reinforces the person that does write the number down for them to check it without having to replay the message. Remember, we're all busy. They're in a hurry to get through these messages, so we want to make sure the impact that we give is clear and concise. Also, let them know that you will call them back. Now, here's an interesting tip. What you may want to say to them is, you leave a message for them on Monday, April 5th. At the end of the message, say, if I haven't heard from you, Mrs. Biggs, I'm going to try and give you a call back on Thursday, April 6th at 9:19 a.m. Why would you do that? They're going to challenge you to see if you really do call them back at 9:19 a.m. When you do that, okay, it creates a level of interest. Is that person really going to do that? Are they really going to try to call me at 9:19 a.m.? It may not be a convenient time, but if you do call them and you get their voicemail and they pick up that voicemail and they hear it's 9:19 a.m., you've created a level of value and trust with that potential client that's going to help you win their business. I will share with you that I've done that in my business practices for several years now. And I won a major client because of the fact that he absolutely sat at his desk waiting for me to call at 9:19 a.m. one morning. At 9:19 a.m., I dialed him. He picked up the phone and he said, "Jerry, you're a man of your word. He says, you really did call me at 9:19 a.m. He said, somebody like you I want to do business with. And it wasn't driven by price, but it was the value and trust that we created. More importantly, catching the appointment. When you do somebody on the phone, again, let's not focus in on price and commodity, but let's focus in on what you can do. All of us in the event planning business have a circle or network of centers of influence. What do I mean by that? I have a number of bridal planners, bridal shops, florists, other bands, photographers, videographers that I've all interacted with over the years. Why not take that group and make it the source for me for generating leads? Can I take a few minutes to share what I've learned and be a potential referral source for you? Many people are interested in learning information. They're interested in learning how to get the best value for their dollar. Not the cheapest, but the best value for your dollar. If you can provide yourself as not an expert, but as a reliable referral source within the business. We all know there's experts out there, but value and trust with clients is created by the value you can bring to them. Also, maybe make an interesting pitch. We often want to share information, and people like to read things. It's ironic that people today are starting to look back at the mail service as a way of retaining information. You might want to say, an article just crossed my desk about how to hire the right DJ for your business. May I send you a copy of that article in the mail? Or if we can meet, I'd be more than happy to bring that article with me. You're bringing something that they're going to find a value with you. All right? Bringing a brochure or bringing your price list is not a value. You've now created a commodity. But bringing that value add, just look at the Eventective website. Look at all of the articles that are there that are available to you. Just choosing one of those articles and providing it to a client is going to create that value add that you need in catching that appointment, in catching that call. Even leave it in a voicemail and say, please give my phone call a call, send me your personal address, and I'll mail that article to you. By doing that, you're creating a connection, and that becomes additionally those 10 to 12 or those 7 personal touches, all in winning a client for your business. Whenever you do get a client on the phone and they agree to meet with you, the key factor is that should not become a selling point. All too often people talk themselves out of an appointment because when they've got somebody on the phone, they create it as an opportunity to sell. The client will let you know when they are ready to buy. They will let you know when they move into the buying phase, when they begin to say, how can I hire your service? Keep any appointment setting thing down to 2 minutes or less, and never ever get into a sales pitch. Combining all of these techniques and all of these information together will help you come across as a trusted advisor to those people that are planning events for either a wedding, corporate function, or family gathering.